So, as we all know, according to the UN Human Rights Declaration, all human beings will be born equal. But we know also that the societies are not treating them equally, and that's why I hope so that we could, on behalf of the society and also on behalf of the fellow citizens, we could try to make life for everyone more equal. And that is the work what we are doing in different ways with the state, local authorities, but also with NGOs and with us, with the human beings. According to the Nordic Welfare Society, where I come from, Finland, so we have tried also to see the structural differences, so that, for instance, we try to support parents when they get children, and for instance, the education should be free of charge, and also the preschool education is very important. We hope also that society could help people when such kind of things happen suddenly, like accidents, so somebody becomes unemployed, and we could give our helping hand for that moment when you need a support. But it's always good to remind people that not even the best welfare society cannot work if the other fellow citizens are not helpful and feeling their solidarity with other people. Because I think that especially these kind of the local centers, they are close to those people who we want to like to integrate. But it's close also to those people who should do this. And so I think that this is the best way to be as much as possible with the bureaucratic systems. But of course, I'm not the person to tell how to do that, because I know that these local organizations, societies, EFS, so they know it. And they are all the time also developing the new ways how to work. But I think that the idea that they welcome people, whatever they are, and try to be with them in equal cooperation, I think that that will help all societies to become more safe, more peaceful, and better for every one of us to live. I think that we are a good example that years ago, when they started already in the early 20th century, 1920, and on even earlier. So it was a very different society where we were. We were very new sovereign state. We have had just a civil war and all that. And then later on, we got also 2 other wars, including the Second World War. And so the society was very poor. And with this kind of the common responsibility, we started also to create then later on the national security systems in sustainable development, in education, in social insurance, in health organizations, and all that. And so feeling it, how it works at the local level, sometimes in mini scale. So you get an experience, and then you how it has happened in Finland. So they have been given to the society. We have a national health insurance, we have the national social insurance, we have the national education system, but very often the start has been local. It has taken sometimes years, sometimes tens of the years, but we still now see that the world is changing, and that's why also the activities of the whole society, and including the NGOs and the human beings, so all human beings, we have also to be ready to listen and to see the new needs. And that has happened, of course, especially in the last 10, 15 years. Europe has changed a lot. I think, of course, the EFS people themselves have explained to you what is the most important. And even I'm working closely together, so it's better. My first piece of advice: listen them carefully and seriously, because they really have studied this issue. But I think that one of the very important issue what they have told to me is that the European Union has always said that we are proud that we have so much differences. It's a richness. But we know also that concerning the activities of the people on the countries are very different. And then I hope that EFS especially, they have hoped to help those countries, those NGO activists where the state or the local authorities don't give any economical or other support. And these are, of course, in more fragile situations. That in that way that you should see also the local situations and try to give to all of the areas the help. But I underline also the fact that, for instance, in Nordic countries, where we are EFS members and we are mostly also the members of the EU, that of course the situation in welfare society is a bit easier than it can be, for instance, in eastern part of Europe, where they have just started the work. But I repeat how I started. So listen carefully, be in close cooperation, and also that this is not something you can do today and then forget tomorrow. It should be also the trust that when we get help today, it will continue also tomorrow, so that it will be the lasting partnership. Because sometimes the help can be very local, then it can be perhaps sometimes to be more effective regionally, or it can be at the national level. Sometimes it could be good to support also such kind of the cooperation which are in different member countries. And so to see that people and phenomena, they are moving very easily from one area to another without borders. And that's why I also hope that the EU could be flexible in that sense. Because everything is in the sustainable development based on people themselves. We, of course, we respect and we would like to get as many state leaders or prime ministers or the MPs and also the European members of parliament to be active. That's all fine. But we also hope that all kind of the people and their activities in different member countries and also at the different levels could be seen as an important partners. And I would say that what we think today that is important might be tomorrow a little bit different. So we all have to also to follow the development and be ready for that then we will change the politics, the programs, if so needed. I think that the Sustainable Development Agenda 2030 in the United Nations, where I have worked very closely, we have understood it since the beginning that the state structure is important, but also NGOs, also the business community, also the universities and scientists. And so the society itself is how could I say that it's not only one type, that it's crossing all these ties together, and we have to follow it, and we try to reflect on that in order to get to everyone the best possible future. I had a very good experience from the conference, and it's good to remember that I have worked for the many years also with the Finnish associations, and so that's why I said that I have seen that how this kind of activities can luckily change according what is the development and situation of the society. But I'm very happy for that even we are now mainly speaking the situation at the European level. So we noticed also that Europe is not how could I say, an island in the global society, but it's a question that we are also in very active relation with our neighboring regions, and especially the issue of the settlers, new settlers, and refugees, and so it's connected to the situation what we have in Africa, Middle East, or Asia, or even in Latin America. And sometimes the best way also work with a little more far away partners in order to get the root reasons for the movement of the people, for instance, so step by step. In that way, being active locally doesn't mean that you don't need to be also active internationally, and I hope that we can combine these two things. I think that we have a close cooperation, and I hope all the best for you. But as I said, I don't try to say instead of you that what should be done. I'm very happy that EU people are meeting now together with Brussels, and I do believe that both sides, there are the people with not only with an open eyes and ears, but also with an open heart, that you can find a very good solutions to work together further. Thank you.